Hello, my name is Renz, and I'll be your social worker for today. What's your name?
Eddie Smith.
Eddie? Nice to
Yeah.
meet you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Do you have any hobbies?
No, not really. I used to, but they just kind of went away.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
really have. Yeah.
What hobbies did you used to have?
I used to paint.
Paint?
I was a
Okay.
big painter and a hiker too. Yeah, so I actually paint the things I saw on my hikes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you seem to be a fan of nature a little bit?
So to speak. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start about I'll clarify how I work a little bit today.
Okay.
So we'll be having a session of about 15 minutes or so, and we'll just talk about the issues that you came in to speak with me with today. But before I begin, I have to go over a confidentiality statement, which is anything that we speak about today will remain in this room. Nothing that you say or I say will be spread anywhere else unless you give me permission to do so. But exceptions to that rule will include if I feel like you will give harm to yourself or to other people, and that includes the elderly, children, or people with disabilities. Do you have any problems or questions about that statement?
Nah, not at all.
Okay, well, let's begin. What brought you in today?
So I'm an alcoholic, and
Okay.
I've been having it for about 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't seem to stop. It's just like it's got a grip on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old did you say you were? I don't know if you mentioned it before.
I'm currently 22.
22?
Yes.
Okay. So how did this alcoholism start? How did this begin?
It was really an act of rebellion. So I grew up in a really strict Asian household
Okay.
where I was told to focus on my studies
Mm-hmm.
and don't touch drugs or alcohols. But like it just got too much. It was just one sip, and one sip turned into two sips. Two sips turned into a glass into bottles, and now multiple bottles many years
Okay.
later. Yeah.
How would you describe your addiction on a scale level? So, for example, on a scale of 1 to 10, with
Uh-huh.
1 being maybe one sip every few weeks and 10 being multiple sips, like even a bottle a day, how would you rate yourself on a scale?
About a 10. I'd say a 10.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I know you've mentioned before that this was sort of a scaling procedure. Like through the years, it began to build more and more.
Yes.
And where do you believe this originally began?
Um, it actually might be because I grew up in a kind of a broken home.
Mm-hmm.
So like my father, he was sort of an alcoholic for a while, but then he kind of stopped.
Okay.
But like he was an alcoholic during my formative years, and so like
Mhm.
like during the crucial years, I saw him at his worst, which is probably what influenced me into becoming an alcoholic. Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your family? What is your father like?
Uh, well, he's a nice man now, but when he was an alcoholic, it was rough. Like he'd come home from work and he'd just beat me up. Like it was rough. And my mom, like she wasn't strong enough to stop him, and so he like beat me up, and then if she tried to stop him, she'd beat him up too. And this went on for like a good, what, 4 or 5 years,
Okay.
until he finally decided like this wasn't good for us, and so he decided to get help.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that sounds like it was a very hard childhood to live.
indeed, indeed.
How was your mother throughout all of this?
She was a strong woman, the strongest woman I know. She did her best to try to keep us together, but like, man, I dude, I don't even know how she's doing deep down. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
How would you say your relationship with your parents is now?
Uh, Definitely with my mom. It's been like this before. Like I'm very close to her, but like with my dad, like it's kind of up and down. Like there are days where we're like, yeah, we're cool, but like other days it's just like, just the trauma of what he did to me just like gets to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you still live with your parents?
Currently, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long has your father been sober for? Do you remember?
I think it's like 3, 4 years now. About, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you hear about this center? How did you come to find me?
It was actually through a friend.
Okay.
He too was an alcoholic, but he apparently came to you guys and got help,
Okay.
and so he recommended me because he saw the state I was in, and so here I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wanted to commend you for coming here on your own in the first place because that shows that you do recognize the problem that you have, and it shows great strength that you want to change the issues that you have. So, why don't we talk about your alcoholism issue a little more? Why do you believe that you still continue to drink so much? Because since you've come here today, you can tell that you have a problem.
Mhm.
So, what would you say is stopping you from completely ceasing this activity right now?
I'd say it's a combination of things.
Mhm.
Like, well, I try like in drinking, I'm able to sort of escape reality,
Okay.
but also like sometimes just like the memory of my past just haunts me. And, like the only way to get it to go away is to get like super drunk, so the
Mhm.
memory just fades away. And so it's the combination of those two things, trying to escape my current reality and the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you attend school still?
Yes, I do, but it's not going so well. Yeah.
What is your school life like?
A lot of partying,
Mm.
a lot of getting drunk, and missing classes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the honesty that you're having with me today,
Yeah.
and telling me the issues you have in your school life and at home, because I really do want to be able to help talk you through these kind of things. So, what grade are you in? Are you a senior this year?
No, so I'm actually like, this is my third year as a sophomore.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was supposed to be done a long time ago, but like, man, like the drinking got the best of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a large group of friends at your school?
I wouldn't say large. I'd say like it's what like my within my circle like maybe 6 or 7 guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say those group of guys are good influences on you?
So depends how you define a good influence. Like,
Okay. What would your definition of good influence be?
well, my current state, like anyone who's able to help feed my addiction.
Okay.
So like definitely they're a good influence. They take me
Okay.
to parties. They buy me alcohol. Yeah,
Okay.
pretty good influence.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
well. I still appreciate your honesty and being upfront about what you believe a good influence is. Do you have any? Since you've mentioned what you believe a good influence is, do you have any people that are bad influences in your life in that same spectrum?
The campus ministry.
Okay.
There's a group of like a campus ministry that like some people have snitched on me and like told them about my current state, and they've tried to stop me from drinking by like giving pamphlets and telling me like it's
Okay.
bad for me. So like, but I see them, I try to avoid them as much as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have people come up to you before and try to talk to you about your addiction aside from just handing you pamphlets?
No, not really. Just cause I avoid people who try to tell
Okay.
me to stop. Yeah.
Okay. Is it okay if I transition into a weird question that I may ask you?
No, go for it.
Okay. Well, let's say that tonight you go to sleep, and it's one of the best sleeps, one of the best restful nights you've had in a very long time.
Mhm.
And as you're asleep, a miracle happens. And this miracle is that the issue that you came to talk with me today has completely been resolved. It's disappeared. So when you wake up the next morning, what would be some of the first things you'd notice that would show you that this miracle had taken place? What would be different in your life?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Just like there's no longer an urge or desire to drink, and just like I'd be okay. Just going about my day, like I wouldn't be traumatized about the past, or like trying to escape the current reality. Yeah.
On a similar scaling system to what we had talked about before in our previous scaling question, with 1 being, not feeling any trauma at all, to 10 being, it's hard to function on a day-to-day basis. How would you rate your sort of day-to-day life in terms of the trauma that you feel?
Like a 7,
A 7?
7.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does this trauma affect you in your day-to-day life, aside from causing you to drink?
Like part of the reason why my father used to beat me up was because I wasn't good enough, and so like as I go out through my day, like I constantly ask myself, like, is what I'm doing good enough?
Okay.
And, like, that thought just like haunts me, like, daily.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing from what we've talked about so far is that you recognize that you have a very serious drinking issue, and that you also understand that this issue has come about because of the past and how your father was an alcoholic when you were younger, and how seeing him drink and seeing him hurt your family as well as yourself caused you to act out in a way that would help you forget your issues. And because of that, it led you to where you are today. And you've also shown that your strength in recognizing the issues that you have. So what would you say is an example of someone that your father would deem good enough? Because you've mentioned that you don't seem to see yourself as being that person.
As good enough? Not necessarily like a person, but like just like in terms of career, like a career that like is high paying,
Okay.
reputable, and like that society accepts as good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this miracle sort of society that we went over in that miracle question, would you say that you would be able to be the person that your father would have wanted you to be in a way?
I don't know, cause I don't know if I can ever measure up to what my father deems as good.
Okay.
Cause like, yeah, I'll never be able to reach that bar. Like, always be like a level below.
Okay.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated would you say you are to reach the goal of becoming somebody you believe your father would recognize? Do you believe you can attain that?
Right now, no.
Right now? So would you say you're possibly around like a 2 or 3 in motivation scale?
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah.
Well, I think we've made very good progress, but I'm going to take a little thinking break right now. I'll be back in maybe 5 minutes. Just, sit here. I'll just be back to formulate a few questions, okay?
Oh.
Well, thank you for waiting. So to sort of go over what we've been through so far, you've mentioned to me that you want to change and you want to be someone that your father can be proud of, and you want to live up to the expectation that he has for you, but you also don't feel like you can attain that right now.
Mhm.
So we're going to go over a few strategies and ways that, some goal formation, because are you okay to meet with me again next week at the same time? Is that okay for you?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's start by going over some motivation. What are some things that you believe you can improve upon, or some things that you can look out for before our next meeting? Is there anything that stands out to you?
Not really. Like, my motivation is like gone. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good place to start from. So how is your relationship with your father? Would you say you are at least amicable?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Do you interact with each other on a daily basis?
No, not on a daily basis.
But
Like,
you do still live together as family.
Yeah.
So would you say an attainable goal for next time would be to meet with him, or to increase the amount of interactions you have with one another?
Potentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because perhaps building rapport with you and your father could also help to strengthen the relationship that you guys have currently, and maybe mend some bridges.
Mhm.
So for the next session, would you believe it's attainable for you to talk to him in the upcoming week at least 3 times? Maybe have a conversation for 5 minutes.
Potentially. Like, I'll try my best.
Okay.
I can't guarantee you.
Okay, of course,
But
of course.
yeah, I'll try my best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any other aspect? Do you have anything with your mom that you'd like to repair or deal with, or do you have any siblings at all?
Oh yeah, I have 2 siblings, 2 younger siblings,
Okay.
and they kind of went through the similar thing, but like
Okay.
They're a lot younger, so they're not at the point of alcoholics yet. But
Okay.
yeah, they're traumatized.
Well, that's a very good way to end our session. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but I just wanted to say that I'm very thankful that you came in, and I'll be looking forward to meeting with you again for next week, being that I think that we made some good progress today. So thank you for coming in,
All
and I'll
right.
see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.